Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, many are feared dead after an explosion at a Tennessee plant. And an Eastern Kentuckian in the U.S. Naval Academy returns home to share his story with students.
Dedicated to Southern and Eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Nearly 20 people are feared dead after a powerful blast at a military explosives plant in Tennessee. The explosion this morning at an Accurate Energetic Systems southwest of Nashville damaged vehicles and left charred debris at the site. The blast shook homes miles away. The local sheriff says 19 people are missing and feared dead. The scene is now secure, but officials warn residents might hear smaller explosions.
We got a very big investigation. This is not going to be something that we're going to be like a car wreck or something like that we're just going to clean up the debris and leave. We're going to probably be here for a few days.
The cause of the explosion is not known. The company's website says the business develops, manufactures, handles, and stores products and explosives for military, aerospace, and commercial demolition usage. The release of Ronald Exantis in Kentucky sparked national attention, and even the White House said they were looking into the case. He was charged with stabbing and killing a 6-year-old in Woodford County in 2015. A jury found him not guilty of murder by reason of insanity, but he was convicted of assault for stabbing Logan's father and 2 sisters. His 20-year sentence meant he was eligible for mandatory reentry supervision last week. He chose to serve the rest of his time in Florida, but yesterday he was taken back into custody there. Officials say he failed to register as a convicted felon. Florida's Attorney General announced they want him off their streets and sent back to Kentucky. We'll have more on the newest developments in our next half hour. A grand jury returned an indictment against now former Robertson County Sheriff Terry Gray. Gray was arrested earlier this week in Mason County. His arrest citation says he was driving 110 miles an hour with lights and sirens on. The grand jury indicted him on charges of DUI, third offense, reckless driving, wanton endangerment, and official misconduct. Gray tendered his resignation yesterday. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine has issued an executive order targeting intoxicating hemp products that are packaged like popular candies. Ohio retailers now have until October 14th to remove these products from their stores or face a $500 fine. The West Virginia legislature has also passed a law regulating industrialized hemp, including calling for regulations on packaging. Kentucky, too, has a law on the books that, among other things, bars hemp packaging from being enticing for children. The White House says federal layoffs are beginning. This comes as the government has been shut down for 10 days with no end in sight. WYMT Washington correspondent Brendan Cullerton breaks down the latest from Capitol Hill.
Democrats and Republicans have made no progress on negotiating a spending plan. The two parties differ by more than $1 trillion in health care spending. The Trump administration says they are now executing their reduction in force plan.
The Senate stands adjourned until 3 p.m. on Tuesday.
After a full week of failed votes to fund the government, the Senate put the spending battle on pause for the weekend. Republicans are blaming Democrats for attempting to tie opening the government to health care spending, with federal worker paychecks on the line.
The Democrats are the ones that are demonstrating over and over and over now 8 times that they don't want troops to be paid. This could not be any simpler than it is.
Democrats say Republicans have refused to work with them on health care spending during Trump's second term. And if they want Democratic votes, they need to come to the table.
We will sit down with anyone, anytime, any place, here at the Capitol or back at the White House to reopen the government, pay our federal employees.
Friday, Office of Management and Budget Chief Russ Vaught announced federal reductions in force, or layoffs, have begun. The White House did not say how many workers would be permanently fired. Republicans say Democrats can avoid this by signing their spending plan.
The president, and his team are going to have to do what they need to do. They've been put in a bad spot because Chuck Schumer keeps shutting the government down.
Many federal workers received a partial paycheck Friday. About 2 million members of the military are set to miss paychecks next week. In Washington, I'm Brendan Cullerton.
A months-long calm on Wall Street was shattered today, and U.S. stocks tumbled after President Trump threatened to crank tariffs higher on China. The S&P 500 had its worst day since April. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped nearly 2%, and the NASDAQ Composite lost more than 3.5%. Stocks may have been primed for a drop after surging to records recently in a nearly relentless rally. Apple Shop officials in Letcher County say they're having to make some difficult decisions to ensure programs continue. Executive Director Tiffany Sturdivant says cuts in federal funding means it's a challenging time for nonprofits, especially those in rural communities. She posted on social media they are saying farewell this month to Roger May, the Director of Artistic Programs. Sturdivant says May has been a passionate advocate for Appalachian artists and storytellers.
Hey everybody, welcome to Friday and welcome to the weekend. What an absolutely picture-perfect start to that weekend. View down the Mountain Parkway, and again, each passing day, I keep pointing it out, we're seeing a little more in the way of those fall colors. How about a trip into southern Kentucky, I-75 near the Kentucky-Tennessee border counties? And yeah, you got just a hint of some of those colors that are showing up. Hey, if it's Friday night here in the mountains, it is football time. Low and mid-60s at kickoff. We're going to drop into the upper 50s for those games in the second half. So wherever you're going, if it's a home game or if it's a road game, you're going to pick out your favorite team's sweatshirt or a light jacket and get after it. First Alert Radar Network. Nothing going on across the region. The entire Ohio Valley is dry. We throw the satellite in there. Weak system dropping its way on in from the northwest. Not a big weather maker at all. Great fall weekend. Those fall colors are showing up, and we got some changes next week. That's with a 7-day just ahead.
Chris, thank you. A Pike County native is making a name for himself in service to our country. WYMT's Amelia Lee introduces us to Will Burchett, who came back home for fall break to share his story with his hometown.
Meet Will Burchett.
Does anybody know about the Naval Academy or has heard of it before this?
He's now in his second year as a midshipman at the U.S. Naval Academy, but he's always called the Big Sandy Valley home.
Born and raised in Pike County, went to Pike Central, of course.
On Friday, he made his way back to Appalachia, speaking to students.
Kentucky set me up for the Naval Academy in a way that I think that a lot of my classmates didn't have. I think that we're not represented in the Navy as widely as some other states are, and I wanted to be able to come back and give some other Kentucky natives the opportunity to follow the path that I've gone down.
Pike County Central High School principal Dr. Timothy Klein served in the armed forces.
I joke with Will that he is living the life I wish I was mature enough to have, you know.
Hoping that Burchett's success in high school and beyond will encourage other students to shoot for the stars and pursue their passions.
He is going to college at a place where people who have committed their whole lives to the defense of this country and our Constitution and have experience in combat in every corner of the world.
Burchett leaving these words of wisdom.
Don't count yourself out, never. Always expect to win, always push yourself, don't strive for the minimums.
In Pike County, Amelia Lee, WYMT Mountain News.
Burchett also made a stop at Shelby Valley High School, encouraging folks in eastern Kentucky to work hard for the future they want. We have a traffic alert for you tonight. Construction will begin on highways in Rockcastle County next week. That's along Kentucky 461 and US 25. It will begin at the intersection of US 150 and US 25. Crews will be working to add lanes and make intersections safer along US 25 from I-75 to Kentucky 461. You should watch out for crews working and speed limit changes during work zones. One aspect of the U.S. economic engine could use a jump start. More people are having trouble making their car payments. A recent report from J.D. Power finds the percentage of new car buyers who have credit scores below 650 was close to 14% last month. That's the highest amount in 9 years. And more of those buyers who take on subprime auto loans are having trouble making payments. Findings from Fitch Ratings also show more than 6% were at least 60 days overdue on payments this year, and that's a new high. A philanthropic fund co-founded by an Eastern Kentucky country music star made a big donation to some area organizations to celebrate its 5-year anniversary. The Hickman Holler Appalachian Relief Fund was established in 2020 by Tyler Childers and his wife, Sonora May. They are handing out $500,000 to 30 organizations across Appalachia. You can see a list of those on our website. Do you need some firewood for the winter? Well, there's a free giveaway tomorrow from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the Kentucky River Regional Jail in Hazard. It was all cut and split by the inmates. Jailer Minor Allen says this is for those who can't afford to buy it or cut it themselves. He just asks that you bring a photo ID and do not make multiple trips. More giveaways are expected later. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, it's described as a pouch phone case that can store everything from keys to makeup. We'll find out how well it works.